with shopkeepers, soothsayers, lawyers, and scribes plying their trade from little stalls. It was late in the day, but someone might want a will drawn up, a prophecy made, a writ issued against an enemy. Mobile vendors made circuits of the area, trying to sell fruit juices that had been warm for hours. Politicians who had been working late in the Senate hurried outside, only stopping to talk if an ally's eyes could not be avoided. Seeing their masters, groups of slaves jumped up from board games, scratched onto the steps. Trying to avoid the blisters on their sunburnt shoulders, they swiftly lifted their litters and moved off. A handful of determined beggars remained on the temple steps, hoping for alms. Several were crippled, but proud veterans of the legions, the invincible army which had provided the Republic's wealth and status. They wore tattered remnants of uniform, mail shirts more rust than rings of iron, brown tunics held together by patches. For a copper coin they would recount their martial stories, the bloodshed, limbs lost, comrades buried in foreign lands. All for the glory of Rome. Despite dwindling light, the Forum Boreum, where beasts were traded, was also full of citizens. Unsold cattle bellowed with thirst after a day in constant sunshine. Sheep and goats huddled together, terrified by the smell of blood from the butcher's blocks only a few steps away. Their owners, small farmers from the surrounding countryside, prepared to drive them to night pasture beyond the walls. On the Forum Olitorium, too, stalls selling foodstuffs were bustling with customers. Ripe melons, peaches and plums added their aromas to spices from the Orient, fresh fish and what remained of the day's bread. Keen to sell all their fruit and vegetables, vendors offered bargains to anyone who caught their eye. Plebeian women gossiped as they finished their shopping and went into shrines to offer a swift prayer. Slaves who had been sent to buy ingredients for last-minute feasts cursed as the light disappeared from the sky. But away from these open spaces, anyone who was still out scuttled faster to reach the safety of their houses. No decent Roman wanted to be outside after sunset, especially in the dismal alleyways between the insulae, the cramped blocks of flats in which most citizens lived. By night, the unlit streets were populated by thieves and murderers. Chapter 1. Tarquinius. Northern Italy, 70 BC. The raven hopped onto the dead lamb's head and stared at Tarquinius. He was still more than 50 paces away. It croaked scornfully and pecked at the staring eyeball with its powerful beak. The lamb was no more than 3 days old, its meagre flesh already devoured by mountain wolves. Tarquinius stopped, picked up a small rock, and fitted it to his sling. A slight figure with blonde hair, he wore a loose thigh-length tunic belted at the waist. Sturdy sandals clad his feet.
"Spare the bird. He did not kill the lamb."
Olenus Esar adjusted his worn leather hat, flattening the blunt peak.
"Corvus is only taking what remains."
"I don't like it eating the eyes." Preparing to release, Tarquinius swung the hide strap in a slow circle. The old man fell silent, shielding his eyes from the sun. He spent a long time gazing at the broad wingtips of buzzards hanging on the warm thermals and the clouds further above. Tarquinius watched intently, holding back the stone. Since the soothsayer had picked him as a student years before, the young Etruscan had learned to pay attention to everything he said and did. Olenus shrugged bony shoulders under his rough woolen cloak.
"Not a good day to kill a sacred bird."
"Why not?" With a sigh, he let the sling drop to his side. "What is it now?"
"Go right ahead, boy."
Olenus smiled, infuriating Tarquinius.
"Do what you want."
He waved expansively at the raven.
"Your path is your own."
"I'm not a boy."